Hi, welcome to this Corbettmaths video. In this video, we're going to look at the video solutions to the adding and subtracting decimals practice questions. If you need any extra help with adding and subtracting decimals, if you go to Corbettmaths and go to the videos and worksheets section and scroll down to video numbers 90 and 91, there's dedicated video tutorials there on adding decimals and subtracting decimals. Alternatively, you could scan this QR code. In this video though, however, we're going to practice on the video solutions to the practice questions, so let's get started. Okay, question number one. Question number one says 4 students answer a question, and the table shows how long it took each student to answer the question. So we've got Olivia took 15.2 seconds, Jessica took 27.1 seconds, Erin took 20.5 seconds, and Zena took 13.8 seconds. And part A says who answered the question in the slowest time. So looking for the slowest time, so who took the longest to answer the question. And as you can see here, Jessica took the longest. She took 27.1 seconds. So Jessica answered the question in the slowest time. Okay, part B. Part B says work out the difference between Erin's time and Zena's time. So that's Erin's and Zena's. So here, obviously, Erin took a bit longer than Zena. So we're going to do 20.5 subtract 13.8. So we're going to do 20.5 and then 13.8. And as you can see, we're lining up the numbers. So we're lining up the tenths, we're lining up the decimal points, we're lining up the ones or the units, and we're lining up the tenths. And we want to work out the difference, so we're going to subtract them. And let's just check we've got the right numbers, 20.5 and 13.8. Perfect. Okay, so let's do our subtraction. So let's put our line and then subtract and put a decimal point below the other decimal points, like so. Okay, so 5 take away 8, well, let's borrow. Oh, it's a 0, so we're going to need to borrow from here. So that's now our 1 and that's a 10. And then borrow again, so that's a 9 and now 15. So 15 take away 8 is equal to 7. 9 take away 3 is equal to 6. And 1 take away 1 is equal to 0. So the difference between their times is 6.7 seconds. So 6.7 seconds. And that's it. Okay, now let's have a look at question number 2. So question number 2 asks us to work out 1.2 plus 4.7 plus 3.5. So let's line these numbers up. So 1.2, 4.7 and 3.5. And as you can see, we've lined up the numbers, we've lined up the tenths, the decimal points, and the units or the ones. And let's put a decimal point below the others. Okay, so now let's add up these numbers. 2 plus 7 is equal to 9, plus 5 is equal to 14. So put a 4 down and carry a 1. 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. Plus 3 is equal to 8, plus 1 is equal to 9. So the answer would be 9.4. So 9.4. So 1.2 plus 4.7 plus 3.5 is equal to 9.4. So that means that 1.2 plus 4.7 plus 3.5 is equal to 9.4. And that's it. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 3. So question number 3a says work out 17.8 plus 2.53. So let's add up these numbers. So we've got 17.8 and then we're going to have 2.53, and as you can see here, we've lined up the decimal points, we've lined up the ones or the units, we've lined up the tenths. Now this 17.8 doesn't have any hundreds, so I'm just going to put a 0 there as a placeholder, and then we're going to put a line beneath it like so, and then a plus. Okay, now let's add the numbers together, and let's just put a decimal point below the other decimal points like so. And some people like to put a 0 there. You can put 1 there if you want to. I tend not to, but it's up to you. Okay, so 0 plus 3 is equal to 3. 8 plus 5 is equal to 13, so put a 3 down and carry a 1. 7 plus 2 is equal to 9, plus 1 is equal to 10, so put a 0 down and carry a 1. And 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So 17.8 plus 2.53 is equal to 20.33. And that's it. Okay, let's look at part B. Part B says to work out 6.2 subtract 1.77. So it's going to be 6.2 and then we've got 1.77. Lining up the decimal points, we've lined up the tenths, we've lined up the hundredths, and we've lined up the ones or the units. And I'm just going to put a 0 there as a placeholder. And then I'm going to put a line beneath them like so, and then a subtract. And also, because we've got our 2 decimal points here, let's put a decimal point beneath those like so. Okay, 0 take away 7. So let's borrow. So that's now a 1 and a 10. 10 take away 7 is equal to 3. 1 take away 7, again, we're going to borrow. So that's now a 5 and that's an 11. 11 take away 7 is equal to 4. And 5 take away 1 is equal to 4. So 6.2 subtract 1.77 is equal to 4.43. And that's it. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 4. So question number 4 says 3 blocks are placed together as shown, and we want to find the total length of the 3 blocks, so we're going to add together their lengths. So what we're going to do is we're going to add these together. So 8.7, 3.8 and 9.4, and then put a line beneath them and a decimal point beneath the others, and then a plus sign. Okay, 7 plus 8 is equal to 15, plus 4 is equal to 19, so put a 9 down and carry a 1. 8 plus 3 is equal to 11, plus 9 is equal to 20, plus 1 is equal to 21. So that's 21.9. So the length of this, the total length of these three blocks is 21.9 centimetres. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 5. So question number 5a says work out £7.85 plus £1.42. So let's line up our numbers. So we've got £7.85, so 7.85, and then we've got 1.42, just lining up the numbers, and then our line beneath it, and then our plus sign. And we've got our two decimal points, so let's put a point beneath them like so. Okay, let's add our numbers now. So 5 plus 2 is equal to 7. 8 plus 4 is equal to 12, so let's put a 2 down and carry our 1. And 7 plus 1 is equal to 8, plus another 1 is equal to 9. So our answer is £9.27. So £7.85 plus £1.42 is equal to £9.27. And that's it. Okay, let's have a look at part B. So part B says work out £20 subtract £5.39. So let's add up our numbers again. So £20, so 20.00. And then our 5.39, lining up our numbers. And then we'll put a line beneath it like so, and then subtract. And then we've got our two decimal points, so let's put 1 beneath them. Okay, so we're now ready to do our subtraction. So 0 take away 9, well, we're going to need to borrow, and there's nothing to borrow from, so we're going to have to borrow from here. That's now a 1, and that's a 10. Cross off, so that's now a 9 and a 10, and cross off, that's now a 9 and a 10. 10 take away 9 is equal to 1. 9 take away 3 is equal to 6. 9 take away 5 is equal to 4. And 1 take away 0 is equal to 1. So the answer would be £14.61. And that's it. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 6. So question number 6 says, the Moore family are going on holiday and they've got a maximum luggage allowance of 23 kilograms. And when they arrive at the airport, their luggage weighs 16.7 kilograms. And the question is, how much under the maximum luggage allowance does their luggage weigh? Okay, so what we need to do is we need to subtract how much their luggage weighs from their maximum luggage allowance. So the maximum luggage allowance is 23 kilograms, so we've got 23 kilograms, and their luggage weighs 16.7 kilograms. And we're going to be subtracting. And here, because we've got our decimal point and our 7 here, well, let's put a decimal point and a 0 there as a placeholder. So 0 take away 7, let's borrow, so that's now a 2 and a 10. 10 take away 7 is equal to 3. 2 take away 6, again, let's borrow, so that's now a 1 and a 12. 12 take away 6 is equal to 6, and 1 take away 1 is equal to 0. So that's 6.3 kilograms. 6.3 kilograms. So how much under the maximum luggage allowance does their luggage weigh? 6.3 kilograms. And because they're going on holidays, that means they can buy 6.3 kilograms worth of souvenirs to bring back home with them. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 7. So question number 7 says work out 4.2 subtract 1.35. So we've got 4.2 subtract 1.35. And let's put a placeholder there above the 5, and then a line beneath them. We've got our decimal points, so let's put 1 there and subtract. So 0 take away 5, let's borrow, so that's now a 1 and a 10. 10 take away 5 is equal to 5. 1 take away 3, again let's borrow, so it's now 3 and an 11. 11 take away 3 is equal to 8, and 3 take away 1 is equal to 2. So the answer would be 2.85. So 2.85 is that one. And that's it. So whenever you're doing this question, you could do subtraction like I did. You could also rule some out, because 4.2 subtract 1.35 is clearly not going to be 5.55, because that's bigger than the 4.2. And here we've got 3.85. Well, if you take 1 away from 4.2, that's 3.2. So if you take 1.35 away from it, it's going to be below 3.2. So it's not going to be 3.85. And then it's a choice between these two. And then you could do it where you take away the 1, that's equal to 3.2. You then take away another 0.2, and that leaves us with 0.15 to take away. And then whenever you take those away, you would get 2.85. But I probably would just do the subtraction like so. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 8. So question number 8a says work out 1.5 plus 0.36 plus 10.4. So let's add up our numbers. We've got our 1.5, our 0.36, and our 10.4. I've lined up the decimal points, and we're going to put a line beneath them like so, and then a plus sign. And I'm going to put a 0 there and a 0 there as a placeholder, and I'm going to put a decimal point beneath the others. Okay, so we're doing addition here. So 0 plus 6 is equal to 6, plus 0 is equal to 6, so put our 6 down. 5 plus 3 is equal to 8, plus 4 is equal to 12, so let's put 2 down and carry our 1. 1 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1 is equal to 2, and then we've got our 1 there. So the answer would be 12.26, and that's it. Okay, let's look at part B. So part B says 9.2 subtract 1.34. So 9.2, and then our 1.34, and then a line beneath them. Line up our decimal point, so another 1 there, and a 0 there as a placeholder, and a subtract. So 0 take away 4, let's borrow, so we've now got a 1 and a 10. 10 take away 4 is equal to 6. 1 take away 3, we're going to need to borrow again, so that's an 8 and an 11. 11 take away 3 is equal to 8, and 8 take away 1 is equal to 7. So our answer would be 7.86. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 9. So question number 9 is a calculator question, so that's quite nice. And it says, write a number in the box to make this calculation correct. So 34.2 plus blank is equal to 80. Well, this number plus this number is equal to 80. So if we do 80 subtract 34.2, then the answer would be what would go in here. And it's a calculator question, so that's really nice. So 80 subtract 34.2 is equal to 45.8. So the answer is 45.8, and that's it. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 10. So question number 10 says two identical squares, so we've got a square here and a square here, and they're identical, that means that they've got the same lengths, and a rectangle are drawn below. And we've been asked to find the length of the rectangle. So we know the total length is 20 centimetres, and we've got the length of one of the squares, or the width of one of the squares is 4.7 centimetres, that's a 4.7 centimetres as well there. We want to find the length of this rectangle. So if we do 4.7 plus 4.7, we can find the total length of the two squares. And then because we know that the square plus the rectangle plus the square must add together to be 20, if we take away the length of the two squares, what's left will be the length of the rectangle. So let's do that. Let's do 4.7 plus 4.7 to begin with. So 4.7 plus 4.7, and then line them up like so. 7 plus 7 is equal to 14, so we put our 4 down and carry our 1. 4 plus 4 is equal to 8 plus 1 is equal to 9. So the total length of the two squares is 9.4 centimetres. But we want to find the length of the rectangle. So let's take the 9.4 away from 20. So let's do 20 subtract 9.4. Now here you can see we've got 20 subtract 9.4. I'm going to put a decimal point there and a 0, and then a line beneath them like so. So now 0 take away 4, let's borrow. Oh, we're going to have to borrow from here, so that's now a 1 and a 10, and then borrow again, a 9 and a 10. 10 take away 4 is equal to, oh, I forgot my decimal point there. 10 take away 4 is equal to 6. 9 take away 9 is equal to 0. And 1 take away 0 is equal to 1. So that means the length of the rectangle must be 10.6 centimetres. 10.6 centimetres. And that's our answer. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 11. So question number 11 says, here are 5 number cards. So we've got these 5 number cards, 1.21, 4.95, 3.89, 2.5, and 7.05. And Finton chooses 2 numbers and adds them together, and his answer is a whole number. Which 2 numbers did Finton choose? So we want to choose 2 numbers that when they add together they give us a whole number. So let's start off by looking at the 2.5. If we were to add 2.5 to something to get a whole number, the other number must end in 0.5 as well, because obviously if we get a half and a half, they would have to add together to be a whole. So we'd need another number such as 7.5 or 9.5 or something like that. But there's no number here, no other number that would end in a 0.5. So that means that this one can't pair up with any other number. Okay, next, let's have a look at a 1.21. Well, 1.21 was not going to be 4.95, 3.89. Well, we've got the 1 and the 9. Perhaps they might add together to give us a whole number. Now, actually thinking about it, if we have 0.89 and 0.21, they would actually add together to be 1.1. But let's just add them together and show you that if we had 1.21 and 3.89, they're not going to add together to give us a whole number. So 1 plus 9 is equal to 10, put a 0 down and carry a 1. 2 plus 8 is equal to 10, plus another 1 is equal to 11, so 11, put a 1 down and carry a 1. And 1 plus 3 is equal to 4, plus another 1 is equal to 5, so that'll be 5.1. So that one wouldn't add together to be a whole number with that one. It's not going to be that one or that one, so that one can't pair up with anything. And likewise, this one's not going to be able to pair up with anything to add together to be a whole number. So let's try 4.95 and 7.05, so 4.95 and 7.05. And this should work. So again, let's line up the numbers, line up our decimal points. 5 plus 5 is equal to 10, put a 0 down and carry a 1. 9 plus 0 plus 1 is equal to 10, so put a 0 down and carry a 1. As you can see here, this is now going to be a whole number. 4 plus 7 is equal to 11, plus 1 is equal to 12. So 4.95 plus 7.05 is equal to 12. And so they must be the 2 numbers that Finton chose. Finton chose 4.95 and 7.05. And that's it, and they add together to give us a whole number. So they're the 2 numbers that Finton chose. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 12. Okay, so question number 12 says, Sebastian buys a gift which costs £18 and 20 pence, and he pays with a £20 note. How much change does he receive? So he's got £20 to begin with, so £20. I'm going to do 20.00. And the gift costs £18 and 20 pence, so 18.20. And then we're going to subtract to see how much change he should receive. And let's line up our decimal points. 0 to take away 0 is 0. 0 to take away 2, let's borrow. Oh, we're going to need to borrow from here, so that's now a 1 and a 10. And cross that off, that's now a 9 and a 10. 10 take away 2 is equal to 8. 9 take away 8 is equal to 1, and 1 take away 1 is equal to 0. So he receives £1.80 in change, so £1.80, that's how much change he would receive. Okay, and then if we scroll down, the change is given in the smallest number of coins. So he's not given 180 1p coins. The question says it's given the smallest number of coins. What coins did he receive? So he had received a £1 coin. He would receive a 50p piece. That's £1.50. He needs another 30p, so a 20p, and a 10p. So they're the coins that Sebastian received. And that's it. So question number 13 says add together 0.8, 0.113, 0.438, and 0.231. So let's line them up. 0.8, 0.113, 0.438, and 0.231. And then let's put a line beneath them like so, and a plus sign. And then we've got our decimal point, so let's put a decimal point beneath them. And let's put in some placeholders. I'm going to put a 0 and 0 there just to make that number the same length. We have the same number of decimal places as the others. So 0 plus 3 plus 8 plus 1. So 0 plus 3 is 3, plus 8 is 11, plus 1 is 12. So put a 2 down and carry a 1. 1 plus 3 is equal to 4, plus 3 is equal to 7, plus another 1 is equal to 8, so an 8. 8 plus 1 is equal to 9, plus 4 is equal to 13, plus another 2 is equal to 15, so put a 5 down and carry a 1. And 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. So the answer is 1.582, and that's it. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 14. So question number 14 says, Jackie's basic pay is £14.65p per hour. And on Sunday, she gets an extra £2.78 per hour. So sometimes if you work on Sundays, you might get some extra pay. So she's paid an extra £2.78 per hour. And the question says, work out how much Jackie is paid per hour on a Sunday. So her basic pay is £14.65. She's paid an extra £2.78 on a Sunday. So if we then line them up, we can add them. That'll tell us how much she's paid in total per hour on a Sunday. And let's put another decimal point beneath the others. 5 plus 8 is equal to 13. Put a 3 down and carry a 1. 6 plus 7 is equal to 13, plus another 1's 14. So put a 4 down and carry a 1. 4 plus 2 is equal to 6, plus another 1 is equal to 7. And then we've got the last one there, so that's going to be £17.43p. So £17.43p. So she's paid £17.43p per hour on a Sunday. Let's look at the next question, question number 15. Okay, so question number 15 says, Luke had £20 when he went shopping, and he bought 2 birthday cards at £2.70 each, a toy at £6.50, and a book at £5.75. And the question is, how much money did he have left after buying these items? Okay, so let's figure out the total cost of the items. So he bought 2 birthday cards at £2.70 each. Now, you could double this to be £5.40. If you double £2.70, that's £5.40. So perhaps the person scanning at the till may do a quantity 2, scan one of them, and it'll come up as £5.40. Or we could actually line it up as £2.70, £2.70 because there's 2 of them, a £6.50, and a £5.75. And that's what I'm going to do here in this question, just because we're practicing adding decimals, so that would work as well. So let's work this out and see what we get. So let's put another decimal point beneath the others. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 5 is 5. 7 plus 7 is 14, plus another 5 is 19, and plus a 7 is equal to 26, so put a 6 down and carry our 2. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 6 is 10, plus 5 is 15, plus 2 is 17. So they would cost £17.65. Now the question says he had £20. So he's got £20, so that's 20.00, and we're going to subtract 17.65. And let's see how much change Luke would receive. And let's just put another decimal point beneath the others. We're going to need to borrow here, so let's cross off the 2 and call it a 1, and that's a 10. Cross that off, that's now a 9 and a 10. And cross that off, that's now a 9 and a 10. 10 take away 5 is equal to 5. 9 take away 6 is equal to 3. 9 take away 7 is equal to 2. And 1 take away 1 is equal to 0. So it's going to be £2.35. So Luke would receive £2.35 change. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 16. So question number 16 says, Chloe has an 8 metre length of wire, so she's got 8 metres of wire, And she cuts two pieces from the wire. So she's got this long piece of wire, she cuts two pieces from it. The first piece was 1.28 meters long, the second piece was 0.65 meters long, and the question says how much wire is left. So let's add together these two numbers to see how much wire she cut away from the 8 meter length altogether. So let's take the 1.28 meters that she cut away first of all, and the 0.65 meters that she cut away after that, see how much wire she cut away in total. So let's add these together and see how much wire she took away from the 8 meter piece of wire. So 8 plus 5 is equal to 13, put a 3 down and carry a 1. 2 plus 6 is equal to 8, plus another 1 is equal to 9, and then 1 plus 0 is equal to 1. So that means that Chloe removed 1.93 meters of wire from the initial 8 meter length of wire. So we're now going to do 8 meters subtract this 1.93. So we're going to do 8 subtract 1.93. As you can see, this is 8. I'm going to do 8.00 just to make the subtraction a little bit easier there, and put another decimal point beneath the others. We're going to need to borrow here, so let's cross that off and call that a 7 and a 10, and then borrow again, so that's a 9 and a 10. 10 take away 3 is equal to 7, 9 take away 9 is equal to 0, and 7 take away 1 is equal to 6. So how much wire is Chloe left with? 6.07 meters, and that's it. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 17. So question number 17 says, Peter is 1.64 meters tall, and Peter is 18 centimeters taller than Nick, and we've been asked to work out Nick's height in meters. Now this question, there's a couple of approaches that you could use for this question. One approach actually doesn't involve adding and subtracting decimals, and I'll actually show you that one to begin with. So if I want to do this question without using adding and subtracting decimals, I'm just going to show you anyway. If Peter is 18 centimeters taller than Nick, well, that means that Nick is shorter than Peter. He's 18 centimeters shorter than Peter, and Peter is 1.64 meters tall. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change the 1.64 meters into centimeters. So Peter is 164 centimeters tall, and Nick is 18 centimeters shorter than Peter. So if we take away 18 from 164 centimeters, we can work out Nick's height in centimeters. We'll change that into meters at the end. So let's do that. So 4 take away 8, let's borrow. So that's now a 5 and a 14. 14 take away 8 is equal to 6. 5 take away 1 is equal to 4, and 1 take away 0 is equal to 1. So that means that Nick is 146 centimeters tall. But the question says to give our answer in meters, so that would be, if we change this into meters, that would be 1.46 meters. And that's it. So Nick's height in meters is 1.46. And I just wanted to show you that you could do this question without changing them into decimals, and that there's nothing wrong with that. This question doesn't say you have to do adding and subtracting decimals. I just want to show you that that approach would work as well. Okay, now this worksheet, this booklet is on adding and subtracting decimals. So here, Peter is 1.64 meters tall. Peter is 18 centimeters taller than Nick. So Peter's taller than Nick, so Nick is shorter than Peter, and he's 18 centimeters shorter than Peter. And we've been asked to work out Nick's height. So he's 18 centimeters taller. Now, because we've been asked to do it in meters, let's change the 18 centimeters into meters. So 18 centimeters in meters, well, 100 centimeters is 1 meter, so 18 centimeters is 0.18 meters. So if we take 0.18 meters away from 1.64 meters, we should get the same answer that we got before. So 1.64 subtract 0.18, that will tell us Nick's height. So again, we're going to need to borrow here, so it's a 5 and a 14. 14 take away 8 is equal to 6, just remembering the decimal point there. 5 take away 1 is equal to 4, and 1 take away 0 is equal to 1. So that means that Nick is 1.46 meters tall, and that's it. So just to show you in that question, we could change them to decimals and do adding and subtracting decimals, or subtracting decimals, or you could just change this into centimeters, take away the 18 centimeters, and then change your answer into meters at the end, and that's fine as well. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 18. Okay, so question number 18 says to work out 582.7 plus 48.6 subtract 9.08. So let's do the addition to begin with. So let's do 582.7 plus 48.6. So we're going to do 582.7 plus 48.6. So let's add up the decimal points. 7 plus 6 is equal to 13. Put a 3 down and carry a 1. 2 plus 8 is equal to 10, plus another 1 is equal to 11. So put a 1 down and carry a 1. And 8 plus 4 is equal to 12, plus another 1 is equal to 13. So put a 3 down and carry a 1. And 5 plus 1 is equal to 6. So 582.7 plus 48.6 is equal to 631.3. Now we've got to take away the 9.08. So we're going to do 631.3 subtract 9.08. And I'm going to put a 0 there as a placeholder, a line beneath them, and I'm going to line up the decimal points. So 0 take away 8, let's borrow, so it's now a 2 and a 10. 10 take away 8 is equal to 2. 2 take away 0 is equal to 2. 1 take away 9, let's borrow, so it's now a 2 and a 1, so that's 11 take away 9, that's equal to 2. 2 take away 0 is equal to 2, and 6 take away 0 isn't equal to 2, that's equal to 6. So the answer would be 622.22, and that's it. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 19. So question number 19 says to work out 25.3 subtract 8.94 plus 5.7. So we're going to work from left to right here. So we're going to do 25.3 subtract 8.94. So 25.3 subtract 8.94. And we're going to put a 0 there just to make sure there's a placeholder there. We're going to do a subtraction here and put another decimal point there. 0 take away 4, let's borrow. So it's now 2 and a 10. 10 take away 4 is equal to 6. 2 take away 9, let's borrow again. That's a 4 and a 12. 12 take away 9 is equal to 3. 4 take away 8, let's borrow again. So we've now got 14 take away 8 is equal to 6. And then we've got our 1. So that'll be 16.36. Then we've got plus 5.7. So 16.36 plus 5.7. So let's work this out and see what we get. And I'm going to put a 0 there as a placeholder and line up the decimal points. 6 plus 0 is equal to 6. 3 plus 7 is equal to 10, so put a 0 down and carry our 1. 6 plus 5 is equal to 11, plus 1 is equal to 12, so put a 2 down and carry a 1. And 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So the answer would be 22.06, and that's it. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 20. So question number 20 says, shown below is a rectangle. So we've got this rectangle. It's got a length of 5.3 centimeters and a width of 2.6 centimeters. And the question says, find the perimeter of the rectangle. So we want to find the perimeter of this rectangle, so the distance around the outside. So that'll be 5.3 centimeters plus 2.6 centimeters plus another 5.3 centimeters, because this length would also be 5.3 centimeters. It's the same length as the opposite side of the rectangle, and plus another 2.6 centimeters, that distance there. So if we want to find the perimeter of this rectangle, we just need to do 5.3 plus 2.6 plus 5.3 plus 2.6. Or you could do 5.3 doubled, which is 10.6. You could do 2.6 doubled, which is 5.2, and then add those together. It's really whichever one you prefer. But I'm just going to line them all up, and I'm going to do 5.3 plus 5.3 plus 2.6 plus 2.6 and see what I get. So line up the decimal points. 3 plus 3 is equal to 6, plus another 6 is equal to 12, plus another 6 is equal to 18, so put an 8 down and carry a 1. 5 plus 5 is equal to 10, plus 2 is equal to 12, plus another 2 is equal to 14, plus another 1 is equal to 15. So the perimeter of this rectangle is 15.8 centimeters, and that's it. Okay, and let's look at our last question, question number 21. So question number 21, we've got this rectangle, and the perimeter of the rectangle is 15.2 centimeters. And we've been asked to find the length of the rectangle. Now we know the width of the rectangle is 2.4 centimeters. That means that this width here would also be 2.4 centimeters. We want to find this length here. So if I want to find this length, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2.4 plus 2.4. And if I do 2.4 plus 2.4, that'll tell me the length of those two sides. And then if I take that away from the whole perimeter, what's left would be the length of these two sides. And then I could half it to find the length of that side. So let's do that. So let's do 2.4 plus 2.4. And 2.4 plus 2.4, 4 plus 4 is equal to 8, and 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. So 2.4 plus 2.4 is equal to 4.8. And then we've got our 15.2, and we're going to subtract 4.8. And let's see what we get. And then put a decimal point there. 2 take away 8, let's borrow, so it's now a 4 and a 12. 12 take away 8 is equal to 4. 4 take away 4 is equal to 0, and then 1 take away 0 is equal to 1. So it's going to be 10.4. So that means that this length and this length, when you add them together, the combined length of this side and this side is 10.4 centimeters. So if we half that half of 10.4, you can find the length of each of these sides. So if you do 10.4 divided by 2, so 10.4 divided by 2 is equal to 5.2. So this length would be 5.2 centimeters, 5.2. And that's it, because 5.2 plus 5.2 is equal to 10.4. And then if you added on these two 2.4s, that would be equal to the whole perimeter. And that's it. And that's it. So these have been the video solutions to the Corbettmaths Practice Questions on adding and subtracting decimals. I really hope you found these video solutions useful. If you have found them useful, please like the video and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.